Hi, everyone. It's Diana, and I'm sitting here with former police officer, entrepreneur, author, and now professor, Nichelle Laus. Nice to have you.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And wouldn't be a podcast without our Miss Sandra Ziskin, managing partner of Diamond and Diamond. And today we're discussing verbal harassment and cybersecurity. All right, let's talk about verbal harassment because that's a very popular topic amongst some people, if you will. They enjoy doing that, I guess. But I don't know what they get from that. But it is what it is. Can you list for us some types of verbal harassment?
Well, verbal harassment in general is just literally unwanted, whatever it might be. And it's not comfortable. Yeah. No, and I'll list them right out of my book.
Go for it.
Catcalling.
Yes.
Unwanted comments. Sexual remarks. Threatening language, insults, and name calling. It's all verbal harassment, and it's not fun. And it makes you literally feel uncomfortable.
Right.
And now, how do you handle that?
Right.
You know, and I give a perfect example in my book about, somebody, who's verbally harassed. It's an example.
Right.
But there's so many different ways to handle it. And again, it depends on the situation where you're at, the type of person you are. Are you,
I'd be like right up in their face, like, don't you dare.
You would, but some people would be like shy, don't know to get a ball of like nervousness and you don't know what to do. Right.
And I think in the day of technology now, everyone's a paper dragon, right? So there's a lot of this that goes in through text messages or emails or Instagram messages, all these social media where people don't know when to stop. And at some point you're like, I've had to block people on social media who just cross the line with me.
Yeah.
And it's a different, but then they can find different ways to get a hold of you, right?
Yeah,
and they're hiding behind a computer screen.
Keyboard warriors.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I guess that ties into one of the other subjects, but we can talk about that because there is the social media, the online bullying, the stuff like that people go through. So all those things that are combined. And you gave some tips about how to deal with that. One of the ones that actually struck me was the one where if you're in a situation like Rachel was, where she was in a coffee shop and people were harassing her, she, I guess, felt some sort of need to not tell the patrons or the owners or the occupiers of the space. Yeah. So that's where I'm drawing on Sandra. That one actually stuck out to me a lot because I was like, you're sitting there. They can obviously hear these men hooting and hollering at this poor Rachel girl who's just trying to enjoy her coffee in the book. And they didn't do anything. They didn't really come to her aid. I don't know, where's the occupier? What is their responsibility if they see it at a nightclub, at a thing, or what have you?
So when you're inviting somebody onto your premises, you have to make sure it's reasonably safe for them and make sure the premises is safe. And it can have disastrous consequences. We had a case where a girl went and was being verbally harassed and went to complain to her principal, and the principal did nothing and then was assaulted. Horribly assaulted. So you can't not act in these situations. You have a duty to, especially in a school environment, because it's even more. But yes, you have a duty. If you see, just like you have a duty to make sure nobody drives home drunk, just like you have a duty to make sure if you see something's going on, and they didn't have to intervene. Nobody's asking the Tim Hortons guy to get behind the thing and start fighting with these guys. Yeah. But if they feel like, you call the police, call the police and tell the police to come by, that this is not okay. This is not good. Yeah. And you can ask people to leave the premises. You can ask them to leave. If you can ask them to leave for not wearing a shirt, you can ask them to leave for harassing people.
For sure.
Correct.
Because a lot of times the person, yes, we're assertive, we're confident, but a lot of people aren't, and they just kind of, they become even more in their shell.
So give us some quick tips about how to stop it from happening.
You could make eye contact with someone, maybe not verbally go up to the owner or the workers there and go help me, but you remember I was talking about the eye contact at the bar before, can you help me? Or go over and, hey, I haven't seen, or just asking another group to sit with them because you feel more comfortable. Okay. Guaranteed they'll understand and make it happen. Okay. Or, you could use your assertive language and go, I'm really not liking that. Can you stop? Yeah. You can if you're courageous. And I really wish more people would do that.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you don't say anything, sometimes that just eggs it on more. Because it's like, I'm getting to that person.
But you know what? You make a good point, because when I was much younger, I remember I was in a place.
Yesterday?
Yes, yesterday, obviously yesterday. So much young. But I remember a group of guys were with me. It was me and my girlfriend. There was a group of guys following us and yelling outside of the window. And we immediately just lobbed onto another group and said, you know what? We're so uncomfortable right now.
Love that.
They're going to think we're with you. Please, please just stay. You know, we didn't have the intestinal fortitude, whatever you want to call it, to go up to them. So we just lobbed onto another group and said, listen, can we just hang with you for a few minutes until they leave? Because we feel really uncomfortable. And they were like, yeah, sure.
They're totally welcomed in, I'm sure, right? Yeah. There's also the international sign for help.
Right.
So that's basically, if anyone knows, during COVID, specifically, when everyone was kind of stuck in their homes, let's say with their assaulters, there was a video basically showing a woman on a Zoom call or some type of call, and she was talking about baking, and she was something completely irrelevant to the conversation, but trying to get to her friend's attention, and she went like this, and basically it means, you know, help me. So anytime you see that symbol, the Canadian Women's Foundation, they basically, I want to say, started it or whatever.
Yes. But it's important. We should all know what it is.
To know that sign. So, you know, even if it's down here.
I didn't even know I didn't even know until right now. Yeah, I didn't know
there
that.
was actually one of my videos that I shared on TikTok. Now, I'm not going to take credit for it. I don't mean it like that. But I ended up being on Inside Edition for a little girl who was saved because she was looking out the window and she had been kidnapped and was on the interstate, and she gave that signal and someone saw it. And she was on Inside Edition basically saying that, I saw it on TikTok. And so Inside Edition had contacted me because I guess one of my videos, that particular one, had gone viral. I'm not saying that it was my video, but
listen,
me and other
more
creators.
People that see it, the more people that see it, it's 100%
So
great.
get that sign out there, you know, especially because if you can't mouth it, if you're at a bar, you can always ask the bartender for help. There's the angel shot that you can ask for. Sometimes it is called something different depending what bar you're at. And if you're unsure, maybe you can even kind of not ask, but you know, if I'm on a date right now, it's a first date. If I need any help, do you guys have a specific drink that I can ask for? You know, don't be afraid.
Right.
And even having that extra set of eyes watching you, right? So it's it all helps.
I love that. And then one of the things also with the online verbal, the assaults of people online and the safety online as well, which a lot of people with the kids and stuff like that, I know you monitor a little bit of the what your kids do on.
I try. No, any mother that says they can monitor 100% is a liar,
including me.
Correct. It's a liar. We try our best. I think we all try our best, and we try to have access and do the whole thing. But it's tough. It's tough raising kids in this day and age with social media. It really is.
Yeah. And you said you do your best. You tell them, you know, the old, you know, you're right from wrong. You tell them what you can. You give them examples. You show them examples. And, you know, all you can do is hope for the best. And yes, I do take my kids' phone sometimes. And I've caught a few things. And
really?
I was like, wow.
No, I'm joking.
Not so much a whack, but what are you thinking? What are you doing? It's not something necessarily they're doing.
Right.
But oh my gosh, really? It blows my mind, but I'm not.
But you know what? They're playing my son had.
But they need their cell phones.
Well, my son had a girl playing on his emotional, saying that you know, giving him the sob story, which was clearly a false narrative.
Yeah.
In order to, I don't know if it was an adult in there, I don't know who it was, but my son thinking he's being a good guy, trying to help her, and I said, no, we're done.
Yeah.
Financially try to help her?
Well, they start with a sub story and then they start with the finances and they start with this. And he's like, Mom, we need to help her. I said, Ethan, no. This is a scam. We need to, but they're naive.
Oh, yeah, I know.
They're naive.
Yeah.
That's in your example with Roxanne. Actually, I want to talk about that too, because with the taking people for what we do at Diamond and Diamond is financial crimes, right?
Yeah.
So we do financial crimes. There's a lot of scammers, there's a lot of swindlers, there's a lot of people out there for sure. Mm-hmm. The problem is we can't sue the ones that go underground or get, you know, we usually sue when it's involved with a larger institution, and the larger institution didn't do their due diligence and didn't check. But unfortunately, there's a lot of, we know, swindlers with romantic crime and that sort of thing that get to people and
play on their heartstrings and clean them out. Exactly.
Yeah, to
all
have
from
your
a click. All from,
to have
you
your
know,
bank account cleared like that and then have no recourse. But I think we can. There's something that can be done in terms of
There's sometimes there is if there's a person to go after. The problem is a lot of these swindlers you can't. But if they're attached to a major financial institution or something else, there's always somebody to sue.
Got it.
But the problem is what we're talking about often happens like a one-off with some loser guy who just tries to prey on innocent women and tell them what they need to hear, and then all of a sudden they're sending them their bank account information, and all of a sudden,
But isn't that like willfully giving that stuff? I watched
know.
a Tinder swindler.
It's kind of like the Tinder swindler. Yeah, it wasn't good.
So they'll never see their money again.
No.
Oh,